cashier at Pizza Inn. At the time, I think I was earning around 11,000 per month.
And how are you surviving? Because when you look at it, maybe in the context of right now, 11,000 is not anything.
So what I will do, I was living in Umo. Umoina was quite expensive. I'll walk all the way from Umo, cross Mtindwa, go to Buruburu. So I will wait, gari hijai. Ikisha waseme wa haraka mbao. Mimi napenya kwa mkono ya mtu shwa. Naingia kwa gari nasimama. 20 shillings nimefika job.
And what now triggered Queen's Pizza?
I've always loved cooking. So I have to figure out what am I good at and how do I translate that into money.
So the initial days you started it from the house.
You have to start where you are with what you have. So you have to figure out yunga wanakoroga na machine. Sisi koroga na mkono. You figure out how to maneuver around.
Good evening and welcome to the Late Night Business. My name is Ian Dennis and I'm quite excited about the episode that you have lined up today because there's a lady I've actually been featured on my book on a chapter called Through the Dirt, and because she's been through the dirt and she remains looking beautiful and stunning as she always been, and you wouldn't even know. And before I get to introduce my guest, I'd like to let you know that you're right here at the Capital Club, the place you need to be as an entrepreneur. At the Capital Club, you have access to a wide network of entrepreneurs. Every C-suite manager, every top entrepreneur in this particular country is part of the Capital Club. So why not you? You can actually get to register to be a part of the Capital Club. The lady I'm speaking about is the founder of Queen's Pizza. I think I'm a fan of pizza, and the moment I tasted Queen's Pizza, I've never wanted any other particular pizza. So Penina Ntong'ondu, the founder of Queen's Pizza, karibu sana to the show.
Asante sana.
Nice seeing you.
Ooh, it's been a while.
It's been a while, tujapatana. I was with your sister was here some weeks back.
I saw it. So I follow you, so
So it's a family of entrepreneurs.
Yes, from our late mom. Yes.
Interesting. And before we get into this particular conversation, what exactly are you most grateful for today? I
am grateful for God sustaining me and my brand after all the hits we got last year in 2022. So I'm grateful.
And you're glowing. You look all glowing.
Thank you. Grace ya God. Usike kama shida zako.
I think always try to look above your problems.
Yes.
And your head above the water. Yes. But nice seeing you. I know it's been quite a minute. You just, what's it called? As I mentioned earlier on, I had your sister here, and you're also an entrepreneur. Your family is literally a line of entrepreneurs. Just take me through how exactly was it growing in such a family where all of you guys are business ladies, actually.
The ladies, because of, I think because of mom. Someone once told me, Chris and Anu told me, the kids are a mirror of their parents. So we are the mirror of our mom. Like the girls in the family, we're all entrepreneurs. So I loved seeing my mom going out there every day to look for money. She never said that she doesn't have money. She'll figure out how to make money. So same thing with my mom, my big sister Judy, who is into hair and has a hairline in the US. So I think is to learn. We learned how to make money at a very young age, and that you need your own money.
Interesting. There's something about the generation of our mothers, because even some of the guests I've had on the show before, even the guest I had earlier on, just mentioning to me how the dad used to make money, give their mother. It was 1,500 shillings. The mother would literally convert it to 7,000.
Wow.
There's something special about mothers.
And about women.
And women, yes, and the ability to literally be a very entrepreneur. Take me through about your late mom. How was she?
My mom was a force to reckon with. My mom never really went to school, but she went to big offices, even to see the President Moi. When she had these chamas. My mom will go to...
What was she doing?
Anaenda kutafutia mama wa chama pesa.
And also she found herself from Meru to the late president.
Moi would give, because she knew how to talk and to bargain. So we got that from our mom. Mom would go to Italy, to Uganda to look for cereals. She would supply prisons, she would supply schools. She was also a giver. So she had like 6-10 chamas under her. Some had people who had HIV. So because she had siblings who had HIV, she would help them get ARVs and get government support. So she was a giver and she was selfless and a go-getter.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What are some of the lessons that you can say you borrowed from your mother that enabled you to even just chat on this particular part? Because there's something, I think I've realized there's always something special about parents. Entrepreneurs just don't come. There's an influence.
I'll say what I've learned from my mom is to never give up. No matter what curveballs life throws at you, you figure out a way to get up. But you always learn, always stay down for a minute and learn from that hit, and then get up even better. So my mom never gave up. So never say die.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Just what are some of your initial entrepreneurial exploits? Because I always say, I don't know, from my observation and primarily just trying to look at it, the success you're experiencing now always had some failures before then, or maybe had some particular trials before then. What are you?
Before
yes.
Queen's Pizza?
Yes, before Queen's Pizza. What are some of the businesses you tried earlier on?
Well, before Queen's Pizza, I had gone to Meru. My mom didn't have so much money anymore to pay rent, so we had to go back home. So when I went back home, as I said, Mom had chamas, and they came home every Saturday by 7 a.m.
So Mom was based in Meru?
Meru.
Yes.
So
and then when did you transition yourself to Nairobi?
I don't even think I can remember the years, but in kitambo.
What made you transition? Was it education, or you ulikuja Nairobi kila mtu akikuja jitafutie?
Kilambo watu wende, ukishafika some point enda tu Nairobi, ukatafute, utakaa tu utaolewa. So by 7 a.m., everyone at the chama, the 6-10 chamas walikuwa wanakuja kwa compound yetu at home in Meru. So when they come, if you're late even for 10 minutes, there's a penalty of 50 bob. So utapata, people have come in and they've not had breakfast. I've always loved cooking since I was a kid. So I think there's a time they were giving money. They were giving mafuta, the mafuta, unga, and powder milk. So I borrowed Mom some, and I made tea, and I made mandazis from the unga and the mafuta. I woke up early, prepared, nikatoka hapo nje nikauzia watu wa chama. Nauzia chai nikiwachotea chai kwa kikombe na mandazi.
Knows how much?
Nilikuwa nauza, I think mandazi was about 5 bob na chai ilikuwa about 5 bob.
And you're using mom's gas, mom's resources?
Yes, kila kitu ni ya mami. Hakuna gas, nilikuwa natumia makaa. Yeah, our gas in Kiguzi ingekuwa noma. So the first time ilikuwa using makaa, and then the first Saturday I sold everything. I made 1,500. That was a lot.
That's a lot of money.
I was under mom, so that was a lot. So from that I got money to buy now for the next Saturday and the next Saturday and the next Saturday. So eventually nikaanza kutengeneza mayai boiled and kachumbari.
Advance.
Yes. So I saved. Remember there's a time mom came in. Alikuwa ameleta cereals to store. We had a store at home yake. So when she came, she didn't have money to pay the driver. And then we gave her 9K. Anashindwa ametoa. I'm like, Mom, I've been saving. So entrepreneurship started at an early stage.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And primarily from those particular exploits, what are some of the business intricate or maybe insights you got around running a business? Because I know primarily initially you saw an opportunity, you went for it. But what are some of the lessons you borrowed from that particular experience?
First of all, you have to figure out, you have to be solving a problem. That day people were hungry, and I sold them food. Yeah? So you figure out like what's unique about you. For example, right now, what's unique about Queen's Pizza? Mbona Queen's Pizza? We have another pizza, a big brand at Buruburu.
Yes.
So why Queen's Pizza? So you have to figure out what problem are you solving, for you to remain relevant.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So from Meru you come to Nairobi, and there's something about wanasemanga watu wametokanga ushago wakikuja Nairobi na wanakuja kudominate ushago. So once you came to Nairobi, what are some of did you get into employment first, or what are the initial things that got you surviving in Nairobi?
I was selling shavers. I had a sibling abroad, and alikuwa nauza shavers. This is a kunyoa, the machines.
Yes.
So I would hook them. I would hook them, and so they were coming through my big brother, who is also pia ni biashara kiasi. So my brother Kome will tell me, ndio hizi, moja inatoka 1,500. So ukiuza more than that, it's yours. No, ukiuza 1,500, I'm still going to give you a commission. So me, I'll go and sell at 2,500 or 35, depending on who I approach. Nairobi. Nimetembea. I even went to the name of this company, but ilifunga.
Yeah.
Beauty Options.
Yes.
I don't know if it still remains.
Yeah.
I went there, got the manager, nikamtafuta. His name was Edward. I sat him down. I have these machines, nikamwonyesha. I sold him a piece at 2,500. Remember, anapata na 1,500,
Yes.
and I'll get a
Commission
commission.
out of it.
So I sold them 13 shavers.
Wow.
Wakachukua stock yangu
That's a good
yote.
deal, yeah.
So when I got to meet with my brother, nikamwambia ndio hii pesa nimelipwa after like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Nilihesabia chini ya meza.
Yeah.
Asione profit yangu ni kubwa kuliko yake. Yeah, so that's what I was doing to survive. Then eventually now I got into employment at Pizza Inn.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So when you got into Pizza Inn, what was your position? Where did you start at?
I started as a cashier. Remember they have these shops called, they used to be called My Shop. I think right now they're called Stop and Shop. I don't know if they still exist. So I started there as a cashier. I trained for some time, and then ikakuwa now, as I was being trained, cashiers were major, and they don't want to demote me. So I was told to choose between Galitos and Pizza Inn. So I chose Pizza Inn. Reason why? I don't know. But I chose Pizza Inn.
Yeah.
Because I love cooking though, but I didn't go for Galitos. So I went to Pizza Inn.
Yes.
So I went there, I trained, and started as a cashier. So that didn't up. I was a cashier at Pizza Inn. At the time, I think I was earning around 11,000 per month.
Per month?
Yeah.
And how are you surviving? Because primarily, when you look at it, maybe in the context of right now, 11,000 and not any. How are you surviving?
How I was surviving? I used to live in Umoja, in a bed sitter.
And which particular branch were you in?
This time I was going to Lusaka Road.
Lusaka Road. Oh yeah, so there's a way you can connect.
So I even stayed there. I even went to the one branch in town. So what I would do, I was living in Umo. Umoina was quite expensive. So Mindarauka as early as 5. That's it. If I'm in a morning shift, I'll walk all the way from Umo, cross Mtindwa, go to Buruburu. Buruburu 50, the matatu, the fare was 50 bob. So I will wait, gari hijai. Ikisha waseme wa haraka mbao. I was so tiny. Acha sasa nimegain weight sababu ya kupata mtoto. When they say mbao wa haraka, mimi napenya kwa mkono ya mtu shwa. Naingia kwa gari nasimama. 20 shillings nimefika job. That's how I survived.
Interesting.
Yes, wa haraka. Mimi nilikuwa wa haraka by the way.
Lakini ulikuja before. Ulikuja ukangoja
unangoja itae. Yeah, unaingia unakuwa wa haraka ndio ufike job. At the end of the day, the employer doesn't want to know umetoka wapi. They just want you at work on time.
Interesting. Yeah. So how many years were you at Pizza Inn?
I think 6.
6 years. And I think I was just reading through some of your interviews in the past, like you grew up the ranks. Just take me through that particular experience.
I was at Pizza Inn. At the same time, I was really struggling with my vision. So
you already had a vision to set up a business before?
No, yeah, I did. So I stayed at Pizza Inn I was comfortable as a cashier because sikuwa nimeandikwa. I'm getting 11K at the end of the month. I do my budget, nini. My rent I think was 5K. But at that time, if you go shopping with 1,500 at the supermarket, basket imeja. So I have I put my fare aside yo ya haraka. Then I have a savings of like 1,500 I save up. So eventually I had that stamina of growth. I've been so comfortable now, I need to move. So as I was going to different branches, I like studying. Me, I've always loved cooking. I love biashara. Actually, even now, any idea you give me, ndakupa ideas when utatengeneza pesa out of that. So eventually, I got interested of now growing and becoming a manager and all that. So at this time, I was at their Westgate Mall branch. That's way long before the terror attack. So this time I was still living in Umoja. So I wait for Waharaka, he reached town. I get a matatu of Westlands, nafika hapo Sarit, then I walk down to Westgate. So I just went to the guy who makes unga. Nikamwambia hebu nionyeshe kutengeneza unga ya pizza. Tukatengeneza naye anaitwa dough mixer.
Dough mixer,
the guy is called the dough. Let's say it's a chef. So he was preparing dough. So I learned how to make the dough. And nikashika nikamwambia okay, leo usiguze, let me do it by myself. So I did it. Because that's how you learn. If I do it with you, Ian, I will not learn like as if I'm learning alone. So I did it alone. After that, I went to the guy who is making the pizza toppings. Ebu nionyeshe. No, Pizza Inn toppings ni mob. So I learned. Then after some time I went to the manager. Sasa, her name is Regina. Regina, fanya hivi, epu nionyeshe vitabu ni ufunga aje, opening na closing. She taught me. So now I started waking up very early from Momo.
Yeah.
Na ingia job. Nikaanza kupewa hadi Kia branch. So I get to work before everyone else. Ningia kwa complex, we call it a complex because it has...
So ingia na waraka.
Waraka, nimelipa 20 nimesimama. No one has to know, my dear.
But you have the key.
Yes, apply your deal, usinuke sweat, ulikuwa umesimama kwa gari. So I go there, I do my cashier duties, I wipe the counters, nahesabu soda zangu ziko sawa, make sure float iko sawa, I mop the floor. Bado hawajaingia.
But that was not your role. You're doing that.
So hiyo ya mbele ni yangu sasa.
Yours is the cashier, but you're doing much more.
Yes. Then I go to the office, the manager of the manager's office. I check Kenya Ilala. I do projection of same day last month. I go to the board. I write what we need to produce. Ningie kwa unga na toppings, nianze kutengeneza. By the time they come in, work is almost done.
Yes.
Yeah. So first of all, I had to make sure my role is taken care of.
Yes.
Ndio nisifuto kazi. Then you do the rest. So you have to put in the work.
Yeah.
So when you want to grow, it comes with a lot.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And out of that experience, because I know ulikuwa umejituma sana, you got some promotions I saw somewhere. Ulifika wapi? So from cashier, how did you grow?
Hiyo too, and then a lot of competition as well.
Yeah.
So eventually nikakuwa manager. And then after some time, I moved from there and I got a job at European Foods. Ilikuwa pia pizza brand. So there they gave me a job as the branch manager.
Wow, interesting. From a cashier to the branch manager.
Yeah.
So from 11,000 by the time, what was it called?
Bado kunalipwa poa, but I was earning about 25k, so that was okay.
But imepanda.
I went there. I stayed at European Foods. So I was a manager at Pizza Inn, then Nikenda.
European Foods.
So in European Foods here, you're a manager from Nini, wakanichukua. And then I know how to hype myself, and I'm very confident. So actually that way even I came to learn on how to run the operations and how to hire, because I'm the one who will do interviews. And then the candidates I shortlist, I hand over to the boss, the Mzungu. Then now he hires. So if I don't recommend you, you don't get hired. So even the expertise I put in now, when looking for employees at Queen's Pizza, I got from European Foods. So everything I've put in at Queen's Pizza, I got from every role I've taken from Pizza Inn, from European Foods.
That's interesting. And then there's amidst all this particular growth, what's it called? An incident happened to you, and I think that it actually was sort of like changed the direction of your life. You just take me through that particular day as you were walking through Wayaki. And it was one of that particular dark.
Eye injury.
Yes.
Oh wow. This time I was a branch manager at European Foods. Ilikuwa hapo the restaurateurs at Nakumatt UK before the demolitions. So I usually take a matatu, go to town.
Hata ukiwa manager bado ulikuwa haraka.
Lazima to save dough bana. You save as much as you can. So I go to town. At this time there were riots of Nairobi Uni students. So tulikuwa tumesikia, but I had not encountered such. So I get to town. Unfortunately, this day kulikuwa na traffic. So instead of the matatu going inside the roundabout of Koja, where they usually park, they went to Jivanji. Then there's like a corner there, I don't know what it's called. There's this place ya Chipo karibu hapo. So tukalight matatu. So it's me and Christine, my colleague. So nikauliza Christine, na hii street inakaa deserted aje? How this place looks so deserted? Then there were like some glasses on the ground, on the road. So I don't know why I did not follow my gut, which I regret to date. But if your heart ikikataa kitu, follow your heart. But we kept walking. So before any minute, these guys came from nowhere. I think they were hiding from the police. So these rioters came from nowhere. They came running after me, running anyone they come across wanakuibia. So at this time, I don't know why I had removed my glasses at that time. So it was a few months after my first successful eye transplant from my left eye. We were planning in the next 3 weeks to do my right. So when the guy pulled my handbag on the left side, he started running on the road. So as he was running, he saw a car coming. So he let go. You know, it's a big man. I was a small kid at that time. So when he let go, I hit on the road face first. So at least if I had maybe glasses ingezuia or maybe ingenidunga, I don't know. So when I fell face first, when I raised my head, the first thing I saw were headlights of a car on my head. Luckily, it was a personal car. If it was a mat, I would not be here. So I try gather myself, stand up. My eye is swollen shut. It's leaking. I try calling my eye doctor. Vile kumeenda, and my clinic is closed. Rush to Nairobi hospital. Tell them I'm your patient. You're my patient, and then they'll call me after they check you out. So when he comes now, now they have destroyed my good eye. That's the eye which has been operated. I fundraised. Wamesha yumiza. This other eye, I was wearing a contact lens, so I can't see. So that's messed everything up. But in a way, it was a new beginning for Queen's Pizza, because I'll still be in employment.
And something after the incident now, I learned that you had to resign because you couldn't go to work now. When the surgery, it was a very big surgery, and I lost part of the eye. So I think I sustained a head injury, which I don't know how it healed. So if I will turn, I will fall, lose balance, and my eye was swollen shut. And when I go to work sometimes, this guy, I'm the one who's running everything. All of a sudden, I can't. You can see.
And he expects me to perform the same. And I couldn't. So I had to tell him, actually, you know what? I love my job, yes, but I need to heal. Because the doctor told me, if you want me to write you a report even to stay for another 3 months, kambe nitafutwa kazi. So I just told him I had to quit because now I could not perform like I used to. So it was a painful decision, but very easy to make, because now I could sit back and heal. Because that eye sometimes really needed me to rest. Na kama umeandika utarest wapi? So I had to take a break, go home, and then figure out, okay, nimerudi nyumbani, sina kazi. How do I pay my bills?
And on that particular note, you're going to take a short commercial break on that particular ending, and we're going to find out how exactly did she rise from the ashes from that. So see you after the break. So welcome back to the show. Before you went on a break, you're just having this particular conversation with Penina on how exactly she got to be whatever. She got in the middle of this particular man as it was going on, and unfortunately you got a really bad injury and you had to resign from work. So it's such a, I'm like, you've told me the story, I think I've shared the story, but it's so difficult every time I hear it because it's not easy. Considering that you had an operation, you're fundraised, people just all of a sudden just harmed you, you've lost your job after spending all this particular energy and time go through the corporate rank. How are you dealing at that particular point? How did you manage?
I can say manage by the grace of God. I'm a very prayerful person. So I think because I was going through so much pain, actually I was popping painkillers every day for the pain. Now I'm on meds every day, like now the painkillers, the eye drops. So it was not easy. And at the same time now I'm going back, mom, nataka pesa ya dawa ya macho. And I'm not used to borrowing. So it's not easy. So you have to figure out quickly how I was going through so much. Get back on your feet.
And what now triggered Queen's Pizza? Because I know it was a very difficult point. I know when people are going through difficulty, it's very difficult for them to dream. But here you dreamt that I can actually have this particular dream and I need to go for it. What made you dream? And how was what were the initial days for Queen's Pizza?
I've always loved cooking. So I think even my 9th birthday cake, I baked with the lady who came to make the cake at home. So I've always loved cooking. So I had to figure out what am I good at and how do I translate that into money. I have to pay my rent, I have to pay my bills. Now I have a condition that I have to take care of. So that's how Queen's Pizza was born. I always knew, even when I was at Pizza Inn, that I'm going to own a business. I just didn't know how or when. But now this injury pushed me to get started. So as much as it was something very bad, which to date, we've done 3 surgeries where we have more and more to go. I'm on medication daily. somehow it was a good thing, because if it wasn't for that, I'll still be in employment. And with Queen's Pizza, I have employees, and we're only growing. So I had to figure out how to get back on my feet and pay my bills. That's how Queen's Pizza came about.
Interesting. So the initial days you started it from the house.
From the house.
Yes. What had you invested in back then? Were you just using your cooker? What exactly were you using back then? Because everybody usually say, I have a dream, I want to build a business, but I need to have a restaurant. No. But you started from the house.
Where? What do you mean? Restaurants, restaurants,
especially when people come from employment. You know, in employment, you always think strategy, business plan.
But now, what I have come to learn, you have to start where you are with what you have. Yes, you have that big picture to have that restaurant, but how do you get there? You know?
Yes.
Sasa mimi ningesema nataka kuanza hoteli. Mimi nitaanzia wapi? My mom is in Meru, and I'm here, so I had to figure out how. And you know, now I was in these big brands where they're using these machines. So I had to figure out, yunga wanakoroga na machine, sisi koroga na mkono. You know, I had to figure out, penye kuna dough press wanapinya unga na machine na flatten. Kwani siwezi roll kama ya chapo? This dough that they are docking with a docker, can I just dock with a fork? You know, you figure out how to maneuver around. So I put it about 200,000. I bought this cooker. I think it's a 6 burner, so the oven is quite
big,
huge. Yeah. And then that oven, now I had to get an electrician to change, to alter some wiring, ndio iweze kuivisha pizza. Because a normal oven haitaiva vizuri. So that, and then invest on now the products, see what I need, branding, come up with a menu. So all that will cost about, at that time, about 200K.
Interesting. Yeah. And how did you start from the house? So you were investing in this particular machine. How did you go to market? How did you start building the business?
First, I called 2 of my guys to go nafanya nao job. Kevin and Pato, nakwambia manze hata kuanza job ya Pizza Home. If you guys come, we try. I have bought the oven, I've bought cheese, I have everything. Because I had suppliers from my employer.
Yes.
So they came, we prepared pizzas, tukafail, tulikula pizza kama 10 by the way last.
Pizza mbaya.
We keep trying pizza way too. So we did that. So by the end of the day, I was like, getting the hang of this thing. So I called my mom. She was still alive at that time. I was still living in phase 5. I was in my 1-bedroom house. And be a mom. So the idea I was giving you, we have tried, and I think it's working. So she's like, now you need to come up with a name. It was a holiday. I think it's December 12th. So come up with a name. Once you have a name, I'll give you money, go to Sharia house. When will you pay the business name? That's the first thing she told me. So I came up with the name Queen's Pizza. I think it was Queen because my mom's name is Elizabeth. So I'm like Queen Elizabeth. I'm like, I can't say Elizabeth still. I'm like Queen's Deliveries, Queen's Pizza Deliveries. So that's how I started. Then from that, now see, now I had to have a logo at that time designed. And then so I started giving flyers around the hood. Ya buru natembea na kupea. Utapata mwingine ametupa utasikia vibaya because you invested on that. Even stamp ya kanjo ni pesa. So that's how I started like walking door to door giving these flyers. And even if I find, let's say Ian has thrown out my flyer, I will keep going, you know. And then I started now, I created a group for Facebook. At that time, not IG, but Facebook. I will post. You can see those. If you scroll back, there are those mbaya photos. Na tule tusimu tudogo. I used to post like, just be authentic. Post.
So you started interesting.
Like that. So eventually, there was this now WhatsApp groups. So someone joined me in a Buruburu WhatsApp group. Hey, hapo biashara ikaanza kushika. So I'm like, we need money. I need to open a restaurant. Kwa sababu now, I'm not even sleeping. Naweza sema ninalala saa 5 usiku. Fresh pizza. But now I have to wake up. Because at the end of the day, if I don't sell, sitafungiwa nyumba and I won't have money for eye drops. So that kept me going because I have bills to pay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And you got the breakthrough when you got yourself into the Lions then.
Yeah. KCB Lions.
Yes.
Yeah.
How exactly was the what's it called? How exactly was the experience like? And how did you get it?
First of all, I used to love to watch Kina Shark Tank and all that. So anything with business, when is there watching, getting ideas, meaning. So now I hear this KTN show, KTN, Lions Gen
KCB
show,
Lions Gen, yeah.
KCB. So naanza, I started watching it. Then when people are watching, I'm there commentating na nawatoa makosa. And that thing is not easy to do.
Yeah.
But you know, as you think you're better than everyone you're watching. So eventually I'm like, say, just try, ikipata nipate. If I don't get it, either way, there'll be exposure, I'll be on TV. And yeah, my brand will be known. So either way, it's win-win. So I go to pitch. Actually, I was called the day before. Someone has cancelled. Are you able to come in tomorrow? I'm like, oh my God, are you serious? Yes. I'm like, let me think about it. I'm shaking like a leaf.
The critic is trying to get into the arena.
I'm like, ni kesho. What? I go back to bed. Sasa nilikuwa nafanya kazi from home. So if you call me, hata kama nimelala, I'll wake up, make the pizza. So I went back to bed. I'm in shock. I'm like, niende nisiende. If I stay, I remain at home. Then I remembered this quote. I don't even remember it properly. It was, when you ask God for cake, and He gives you eggs, flour, a pot, an oven, you walk out. I'm like, no, I need to make this cake. I called the guy back. I'm like, Murad, that's the producer. I'll do it. I'll do it. What time? Tomorrow 1 p.m. Okay. But I was shaking. So after I said my okays, I had to go to YouTube, watch every season, every episode. Meaning, what do they look at? And these lions, which one do I want? Because you have to get someone who's going to bring value to your business and someone you're going to learn from.
True.
So that's what I did. Yeah.
And I think you got in, and then eventually you got who you wanted. You wanted Chris Enanu.
Well, I wanted Chris. Yeah. Because I had seen this guy in hospitality. Yeah. Hey, alafu, if you watch Lions, then Chris haongeangi mingi. He likes to observe. So I wanted Chris. So the day to go pitch came. Hey, another story altogether. Naenda kununua stima tokens za KPLC.
Yeah, hakuna.
Haifanyi. If you don't go in to pitch with your product,
you
don't get it. You don't. Because you have to look like you're serious.
True.
Sema kulia kwa nyumba peke yangu. What do I do? Nimepata, I'm going in a few hours. I don't have tokens imekata. I called KPLC, they're giving me stories. At this time I was not married, I called my boyfriend. Hey, Frank, I'm stuck. Why are you crying? I have a pitch in a few hours. I can't bake pizzas. Sina stima. Tokens zimeniishia zenye nimeweka. And he said, relax, give me the meter number. And he bought and he's going through. So nika top up stima. I baked my pizzas, they keep picking me up. And everything, let's say everything is history.
Interesting. And you finally managed to get Chris Enanu to invest in your business.
Yeah, I managed. I got Chris Enanu.
You managed to set up the restaurant. I think there's a question especially for the guys who are very new to the world of investment. They presume that you had pitched for 3.5 million for your business. They think that the 3.5 million is going to come to you. Just break down to us how exactly the investment works.
When someone says they're giving, let's say like for me at Lions Den, by Chris Enanu, 2.5 million for 40% equity. I get that question a lot as well. Equity means 40% ya kampuni yako ni yake. Simple. That is as simple as it gets. So you, Penina, at that time when Chris was still in Queen's Pizza, Penina owned 60%, Chris owned 40%. The 3.5 wasn't for Penina. The 3.5 was for setting up the restaurant for the company. So if kazi yako ni kupanda gari wa haraka ndio ufike, continue with wa haraka.
Or change lifestyle?
No, that money is for growing the company. It's not yours.
Interesting. And how was the transition? Because initially you were working from home, you had had your small investment, you already started getting the clients. How was the transition now from moving from your house now to setting up your restaurant?
It was challenging, but I was so happy. That was actually my happiest time in business. Can you imagine waking up every morning knowing you're your own CEO? You have your own company, and you've been in employment, and you've worked from home. That fulfillment is something else. I was so happy.
Interesting. And a year, I think, was it a year or maybe before a year into the business, COVID happened.
So, a year.
How many months was it?
We opened in August 1st, 2019.
Yes.
August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March.
COVID.
8 months.
Yes.
COVID hit March 13th. I can't forget because it's my birthday month. And at that time, you know, when we started, the 3.5 was not as much as I thought it is. So
what were you able to do with the 3.5?
We were able to buy some machines. Some we bought second-hand because I had done my research even before getting the investment. And then do some kidogo renovations, not to the way we would want the place to be, but at least to get going. And we bought some cheap furniture to get started. So by the time we hit, so August when we opened, we broke even because we already had clients.
Ah, so the clients that you already had.
They followed me.
So it's very important to start from home.
Yes, yes. If you can start your biashara from home, please do. Because when you're working from home, you don't have a rent to pay and you don't have employees. I used to be a one-woman show. If it's rent, ni rent yangu ya nyumba. You know. But now when you transition, there are so many things that come with it. You have employees, you're paying. You have employees. The management of grown-ups is not easy, people management. So the money I got was now to buy those things. And eventually now after we broke even, so festive season was really good.
So breaking even means that you're able to recoup the 3.5?
No.
Or to break even means that you're able to take care of your costs? Or the cost will take care of it?
They're taken care of. Outfit anywhere.
Oh, so that's nice. So after a month you already broken even?
We did. So by the time festive season came, that's the highest, the peak season, we did really well. So when January came, like, hey, nikambia Chris, sasa hizi meza zangu na hizi viti manzi hazikai poa. I had to sit down, I need to buy new ones. Like, okay. So we had some money in the account, which we had some sales. So we plowed the money back in the business. So we bought new furniture and actually did another renovation, like overnight, like we were doing in stages. So by the time inakuja COVID, the place looks brand new. We had invested a lot of money on the furniture.
But restaurants, you cannot access restaurants.
Nikapeleka nyumbani. I took the chair.
So nakalia vitu mpya.
I took the chairs for store. I took the chairs and the tables in the house for over a year because of COVID. Now we had to figure out, we had to buy a motorbike with the savings that we had. We bought a motorbike, which is what I have to date. So we're like, now, since now it's deliveries, let's push deliveries. So we had to push deliveries to survive. But I'm grateful to God that we never fired anyone. We never reduced salaries. Everything remained.
Interesting.
Everything remained.
How did you sustain through the season? Because I know during that particular period when COVID is going around, so many restaurants closed down. You still managed to open and you still thrived.
We thrived. I think what I know is, if you want to have a good product, and you have Ian knowing, kila Sunday nimekula Queen's Pizza. There's no way you're going to lose Ian. If Ian goes missing, tafuta Ian. Ian kwani tulikosea wapi? You make sure you bring Ian back. Ian will bring 10 more Ians. That's how you grow. But you have this pride like, even if he goes, I get another Ian. My friend, you're going to collapse. So you have to figure out how to maintain those clients. If you get a customer complaint, I will handle it myself. Myself, when nitapiga simu, shida iko wapi? Even the client is rude, nitamsikiza, nipigie kelele amalize, then how can you solve this? You know? So, and another thing, I was even telling people on TikTok yesterday, I'm trying to be active on TikTok. When you're applying for a job, like right now we are hiring, because now we are somehow expanding. So if we had waitresses and waiters when COVID hit, we would have fired them. But what Queen's Pizza has, my cashier can waitress, my cashier can go and be the chef. You need to be versatile. You can fit anywhere. You know. But if you say, sasa mimi kazi yangu ni kukuwa cashier, what if they say now you can start ordering online? What happens to you as a cashier? Hakuna kazi. So you have to figure out what else can I do? What else
to be much more,
Yes.
Interesting. And interesting thing that now you're 4 years into the business, you guys have grown, you're now expanding into a new particular, what's it called, new space. Just tell us about it, how the journey has been. Because from the house, from the lady who, as in from where life was just looking all doom and gloom, now here you are, opening a new branch, a bigger branch.
It's exciting but very scary. And the journey have not been easy, kabisa. It's not been easy. It's, I always say, people don't show you everything on social media.
True.
You
Social
only
media
see
must.
the end result. but I try to be real. Like if I'm going through a situation, like last year I had gone through demolitions of our restaurants. I was setting up a creamery, and they're demolished without any notice, and you don't get
any refund,
or compensation. That's a very big hit, especially for a young brand which is barely 4 years old. Will be 4 years next month. So it's been a good journey. I've been learning. So what I've gone through last year, I've had like 3 demolitions, and the demolitions which took place were money from the bank. It's loans that I have to pay at the end of the day. Because as I had mentioned, eventually I spoke to Chris.
Yeah,
and I was able to buy back Queen's Pizza, so it's spending 100%.
Yeah.
So with the hits I got, they have really affected
the cash flow,
and everything. But I don't give up. And right now I've come to realize they were not failures, rather, but lessons. So I've been learning and I'm growing. So when you're growing, you feel that pressure. So I think I was telling you earlier that I'm learning to stop panicking. Stop panic. If there's no money,
there's no money. Yeah.
Kama pesa iko, iko. And I've learned also the importance of relationships. Like if you're my supplier, for example, my chicken supplier Eva, God bless her soul. If I tell you, I started with that lady when I was baking pizza from home. I was going to her to take a half a kg or a kilo of chicken. Now she supplies up to even 100 kgs a week. Namwambia enyewe Eva nimekwama. You've seen the demolitions, cash flow, seen a dough. But I don't have chicken. She's like, Pesh, unataka kilo ngapi? And she brings. That is so important than any money can ever buy.
Interesting. So relationships are key.
Key, kabisa, to grow any business. Because you're not always going to be swimming in money. You get a point when the things get a little shaky, but you need to figure out how to
maneuver,
make sure things are moving smoothly, and that pizza client will not know kuna shida. Because if they know, they'll not come.
True. Yeah. Interesting. And before you get to wind up, I have like 10 questions. They are quick fire questions. And I'll just to answer the first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay.
Freedom or money?
Freedom.
Do you sleep on the right side or the left side of bed?
The right.
Do you sleep with your socks on or your socks off?
Socks on, rainy July. Baridi.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Music or quiet?
Quiet.
Go on to a concert or to a sporting event?
A concert.
What did you last search on Google?
I don't know, but something business related.
Yeah. Can you do a funny impression of someone?
No. Not to save my life.
What's your hidden talent?
I think if you were to share with me your passion, I can figure out a way to help you translate that passion into money.
Interesting. What fashion trend do you wish will disappear forever?
The trousers they wear up to here, I don't know what they're called.
Oh, yeah.
For
For ladies or for guys?
For guys. You're saying for ladies?
Yeah.
I can't think of any.
And then the final question, if you'd make one wish come true right now, what will it be?
Any.
Any?
To see my mom again.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
On that particular note, we come to the end of the show. It's been quite an interesting conversation. You can get to read, the story of Penina on my book, The Business Conquest, whereby I share her story going through the dirt, which is such an important element for any political entrepreneur to know what exactly do you do when you're going through the dirt. As always, we're coming to you live right here from the Capital Club, the place you need to be as an entrepreneur. At the Capital Club, you're joining part of a big network of the C-suite management, entrepreneurs, and the who's who, not only within Kenya, but within the region. So you need to be a part of this. My name is Ian Dennis. This has been the Late Night Business. Until next time, see you right here.